Okay, knock sensors on the Toyota Alphard 3 litre V6. So the sensors themselves are situated underneath the intake manifold. This is quite possibly the harness down here maybe. We'll see more once we get that off, but yeah. This bad boy needs to come off. It's going to be a wee bit cramped in there, but other things will need to go. So air filter box, disconnect it from here. Obviously this plastic cover comes off. I'll try and lift everything without splitting these, but we'll see when we get there. And this our throttle body and whatnot, so yeah. I'll get a start and update the video as we go. Okay, step 2. So drop the fuse box down just to give a bit more access in there. Air filter is out, disconnect to here. So a couple of things to disconnect from that. We've got the sensor, airflow sensor, we've got a tube here and the breather from here. That all comes out in a relative one-up. So pretty easy. So looking at it again, we've now got down in here is this yoke down there is the harness, I believe, and that you can see that tucking away down under there. So yeah, all of this here is coming out next, and let's see how we're going. Okay, next bit was this assembly here. It's held on with a couple of 10mm nuts, one at this side and one here. A couple of hoses to disconnect, apart from my memory anyway. There's one going back to here, one going into the throttle body, there's a shorter one going into this was probably a vac sensor there, and there's a longer one that went up to here, which is somewhere. This bad boy here, which actually needs to come off anyway. And there's a wee pipe clip just down here that all goes back into itself. So this can be folded back and then tucked underneath the fuse box. It's out the way. So the next bit is the upper intake. Okay, so this bolt here is going to have to come off. This is supporting the throttle body. And that's 12mm. Okay, so just switch to my ferret cam. Now there appears to be another bolt. Now you'll see from the top of the engine, you can see this rounded section here. That's part of a bracket. So if we come round the side here, and you'll see a bolt there, and that's the top of that bracket. So I think partly in other models there's something going on here, but looks like we can get a spanner into that. Okay, so we found another bolt on a bracket, which is going to be awkward because it's, if we zoom out, it is in behind the throttle body. Okay, so the nut at the back of the throttle body is 12mm. It is accessible with a spanner, using a ratchet spanner because it's a bit easier. Yeah, going to be fun getting these back in. Okay, small update. So all these bolts are off. There's a bracket here which will come out. There's also a bracket here which supported the throttle body. Take that off so we can get over this pipe here. Hopefully that won't have to come off. Pull it to one side. We tip, always put the the nuts back where they came off so you don't lose them if you can. Okay, a couple other bits removed, unplugged the throttle body, and also going to take these hoses off. On some of the videos what you see is this whole intake gets lift connected and then just basically chucked over, but that's on bigger cars with full size bonnets, not the wee letterbox that we've got in the Alphard. So we'll see how that goes and let you know. Okay, with those 3 back bolts taken out, we now have movement. So 3 of these were one in the back of this. There was another one back down here, and then there was another on a bracket in this area here. So getting these back in is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, another one almost just below this section here, another one back here, but that's free. Try taking these off. This is coolant, so I'm going to try and move this without removing those and disconnect that. Okay, so struggled to get the manifold off with these studs in place. Try to tilt it back, it seems to be catching on this bracket at the back, so we've cheated a wee bit and unscrewed these. So to do that, it's an E8 Torx, female Torx bit, like that, E8. They came out relatively easily. Obviously, just need to go back in again. This gives you a bit of alignment on that flat part there, but with that out of the way, it flips out quite easily. Okay, and now I don't think we have enough space to flip this right out of the way. Oh, that's actually another wee hose down there, so disconnect that and then see what we're saying after that. Okay, disconnect that little hose, and now we've got a fair bit of movement on this. I'll go two-handed and see where I get it to. Okay, upper manifold just tie it up here out of the way, and hopefully that will be enough clearance to get the rest of it out. Okay, so I was going to try and do it without having to drain any coolant, but it was clear that, to get this off in the space that we've got in here, there was going to be coolant lines coming in here, coming from the heater matrix by the looks of it. The hoses are colour coded, they've got a yellow and a blue mark, the blue's bottom, remember that. So I've not drained out all the coolant, just from the tap. Oh, okay, off. The tap down there, the wee yellow wing nut. And there's a wee panel, just wee quarter panel, but a little bit E size to let the coolant come out. That looks a bit oily, but this is I've used this bucket for collecting oil in the past, so fingers crossed that's all it is. Luckily I've got some Toyota Long Life premix red coolant kicking about. Small spillage. Yeah. Also, one of the videos I looked at, this coolant elbow here would appear to sit over this gasket, so this needs to come off as well. So yeah, pretty evident we need to drain some coolant out. Okay, crack on. Okay, back to removing the lower manifold. So we've got, I think, 8 bolts, M12 dotted round. Let's go over and have a look. So, another one, possibly one connector, and there's 2. 4. Below the rail, 2 there, there's a very flexible Anyway, there we are, P4. Take those off. Disconnected all the injectors. Can't see anything else that's going to stop us, so fingers crossed. We may have a fuel line here. We'll see if we can leave that on for the piston pressure there. Okay, bolts are out, so there's a selection of shorter ones, longer ones, and nuts. So what have we got? Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in total. Once they're out, we've got shells. Okay, next installment. So, lower manifold, it does swing out the way with the upper manifold tie wrapped up above it. So that now gives us access to the goodies. So, we can see the two intakes and the sensors in question. This one here and another one just in here. And this is the harness which we're going to get rid of. Now, just before this video, a lot of plastic parts here were brittle and had to be removed. This is the clip that was holding the harness on. Yeah, absolutely milled. So you just need to be very careful taking this stuff out. Make sure we don't lose anything down here. Hopefully I'll find my washer somewhere at some point. Speaking of which, these nuts were taken off. There is a washer below them. I didn't notice it. Managed to recover one before it got lost. The other one is down here somewhere. Hopefully not. So anyway, that's where we are. That's a part of the bit of plastic there. So the gaskets, as you can see here, does go below this water knuckle here, so this will need to come off to replace these gaskets. The other thing that was recommended, I didn't get, was some people say that when you're in there, remove this hose. Looks in not bad condition otherwise, other than there's some plastic wrapped around it down here. I don't know if that's for additional protection or not, but again, that's very brittle. Some of it's already fallen off, as you can see down here. So yeah, I'll disconnect that, get the steering, this water elbow off, and next time we're taking the sensor off. Okay, there's 4 bolts, 2 bolts, 2 nuts to get this boy off. You can see the holes there, and another one here that attaches to this bracket. Now, options are take this off, it's a bit of an engine mount, or I think what I will do, since I've got the tools, I will just cheat and take the studs out so that I can slide this out from underneath this bracket. And now she pops with that, keeping that bracket in place. Okay, new sensors are in. The shallow 27mm socket did a cracking job. I tied up as much as I could with a bog roll and ready to start sticking gaskets back on. Give faces a wee wipe down, just get rid of the residue and then probably start rebuilding. Okay, new gaskets are going in. If you're doing this kind of work, I probably don't need to tell you this, but what I typically do is if I take the gaskets off, I lay them down in the orientation that they came off. So this literally came off the engine like this, and I have laid it down like so, same as this one, and front and back, so I know which is which. So when it comes to putting the new one on, you can be absolutely sure. These are pretty straightforward. These you'd be doing well to mix these up, but I have once put a head gasket on upside down, and the only thing that's non-symmetrical was in one slight corner there was an oil way, and it would basically just pushed oil out the engine, and that was scanned over that for a good 5 minutes trying to figure out if it was symmetrical or not, and it wasn't. But anyway, these are a bit more straightforward. But yeah, and a wee tip, just keep them in the same orientation until the new ones are in. Now, just something to note in here. We've got the studs here that are used for alignment, so because I've cheated a wee bit and taken one of the studs out to get the water elbow out, this is going to shift it about a wee bit. So when the water elbow goes back on, the first thing I'm going to do is put those studs back in, make sure everything's all nice and aligned before I tighten anything down at all. After that, it's rebuild. Okay, it's fitted. It's in, the harness is just not plugged in the other side yet, but chucked it out of the way. Guess it's looking nice, and yep, next stage. I meant to say this is the earthing terminal was attached to the lower manifold. It's quite important for the operation of the sensors, so yeah, make sure that goes back on. Okay, we're getting back together again now. Now, something that might help, I don't want to call it a tip as such, but I initially tightened down the intake manifold and then tried to put the 3 annoying bolts at the back, and couldn't get them to line up, couldn't get them in, obviously couldn't see what was happening, so loosened these off, so there's a wee bit of wiggle in this. Managed to get all 3 of them in, tighten them up to make sure that they're actually in, and now loosen them off a few turns just to make sure everything's got a wee wiggle again, and then we'll go back to tightening this. We'll tighten the manifold up, and once that's down, and then I'll go back and tighten the 3 here, and then make sure all the hoses are connected and top up my coolant. Alright, yeah, if you try and do that first and then do these, it wasn't happening. Cool.